Okay. Looks like folks are in the webinar at this point, and so I want to just welcome everyone to the fifth annual Bill Iwin Environmental Justice Awards. I'm Tony Wilkin Gibbard, Executive Director of Midwest Environmental Advocates, and it's a pleasure to welcome you here tonight. Before we get started, I want to start by acknowledging that the state of Wisconsin encompasses the ancestral and the contemporary territories of the Dakota, Ho-Chunk, Menominee, Mohegan, Mohican, Ojibwe, Oneida, Pequot, and Potawatomi nations, and that most of these nations and their people remain present in what we now call Wisconsin. While those acknowledgments are important, it is also important to support Native nations and Native people in the work that we do at MEA, and we strive to do so. And we encourage everyone to do the same. Now, I'd like to welcome this year's award winners, Lisa Dorr and Deanna Branch. And in addition, I'd like to welcome Tuzheng Zhang, who will be accepting the award on behalf of Maria Powell. At the top of the event, it's also important to acknowledge our sponsors for their generous support of Midwest Environmental Advocates and for making this event possible. Our presenting sponsor for this evening is Carson Black. And as you can see there, Carson Black has a message for us. Carson Black, O'Callaghan, and Battenberg proudly supports MEA's mission to empower communities seeking environmental justice. Our families and the families of the clients we serve live and work in Wisconsin, and we appreciate the important work MEA does to ensure a healthy environment for us all. So thank you so much, Carson Black, for your presenting sponsorship. And I also want to thank the other sponsors, Delta Properties, Frederickson, Haling and Kao, Boardman Clark, Just Coffee Cooperative, Community Shares of Wisconsin, Wisconsin Conservation Voters, Wisconsin Farmers Union, Cox Quindell, Pines Bach, and the Willie Street Co-op. These sponsors and many others in attendance tonight contribute to MEA. You all make our work possible, and we are grateful for your generosity. For those of you who don't know, Midwest Environmental Advocates is a nonprofit law center that combines the power of law with the resolve of communities facing environmental injustice to secure and protect the rights of all people to healthy water, land, and air. Our organization, MEA, was founded over 20 years ago when Wisconsin lost the Office of Public Intervenor. The Office of Public Intervenor was an independent law office within the State Department of Justice that provided assistance to Wisconsinites who had concerns about environmental protection. And the office had the authority to take legal action in the public interest when our rights to a healthy environment were not being adequately upheld. When in the mid-1990s, Governor Tommy Thompson abolished the office as part of the state budget process, Melissa Scanlon, our founder, founded MEA to fill that void. And to this day, MEA remains the environmental law office for the people of Wisconsin. The grassroots environmental justice advocates who speak up and organize their communities, they are our clients and our closest partners. And in reflecting on the legacy of the Office of Public Intervenor, it's important to note that it was created to help level the playing field between those who could afford lobbyists and lawyers to influence decisions in their favor and the community members who were often left out of environmental decision making. And in that way, the office really had a positive role in promoting environmental justice in Wisconsin. It provided those on the front lines of environmental issues with access to environmental lawyers to counterbalance the resources of industry and polluters, giving them more power to have a voice and have an influence. And at MEA, we strive to continue that tradition. We are environmental lawyers who combine our knowledge and our skills with the passion, the dedication, and the expertise of communities. And that really brings us to our three award winners tonight. We have had the honor of working closely with all three of these individuals. We have witnessed up close their transformative advocacy. We have seen their persistence, their integrity. We've been there for their successes. And these three individuals fill all of us at MEA with great hope. And we are glad to be able to share that hope with you as we share more about these three remarkable women. And in talking about hope, I want to say that true hope isn't always buoyant or cheerful. True hope really reckons with our limitations, with the possibility of loss, and it does so that it can clearly perceive what will endure beyond that. Uh, and that reminds me of last year's awards. At last year's awards, we acknowledged the then recent passing of Bill Iwin, the Kewaunee County resident and environmental advocate, for whom this award is named. Last year, we had the opportunity to hear from members of Bill Iwin's community as they shared their memories of him. They talked about the countless hours he spent organizing and speaking truth to power. They had the chance to reflect on the loss of Bill and also identify all that they had gained from how Bill lived his life. Charlotte Byrol, a previous winner of the award, had this to say about Bill and his influence. It's hard to quantify Bill's influence on raising awareness about environmental issues, but the fact that someone like myself, who has no experience in environmental science or public health, can effectively communicate the urgency of the issues at hand is a testament to Bill's activism and the impact that just one person can have. And so Bill Iwin embodied and carried forward a legacy of community building and stewardship that lives on today and will continue to stretch forward in untold ways. And that is also true of each of our award winners tonight and the lasting impact they have had. And that's especially true of our first awardee, Maria Powell. Maria is seriously ill and cannot attend tonight. So Tuyang Zhang, Vice President of Madison Environmental Justice Environmental Justice Organization, will accept the award on her behalf. We all hold Maria in our hearts and are grateful for the opportunity to recognize all that Maria means to many people and communities that she has served. I'm going to turn the floor over to Rob Lee, staff attorney here at MEA, to say more about Maria.
Thanks so much, Tony. And let me just start by saying what a privilege it is to be able to present Maria with this award. She was one of the very first people that I met when I started here at MEA. And so to be here years later, right, honoring with her with this award is a real privilege. So about Dr. Maria Powell, she is a founding member and president of the Madison Environmental Justice Organization, or MIJO, as I'll call it, which she started in 2004 after earning a PhD in environmental studies and communication at UW-Madison. And through MIJO, Maria has worked tirelessly to inform and protect communities across Madison from exposure to toxic substances by breaking down cultural and language barriers that persist between those communities and decision makers at both the local and state level. And Maria's leadership has really made a difference across our region, but her organizing has always been grounded in the communities where she lived and her relationships with her neighbors. So I'll give just 3 examples that I know of from personal experience, but please know just how many more really could be offered by all the people's lives she's touched. So the first example is the Madison KIPP Corporation in Madison. Maria worked on contamination issues stemming from that corporation's facility in Madison, which spewed toxic substances into the surrounding neighborhood where Maria once lived. And when the nearby community center installed a rain garden for children at the facility's stormwater outfall, it was Maria who had gone through all of the data. I've seen it and just how much documentation it has, but it was her who was ready to go with that information and raise the alarm. To show that there was still unacceptable levels of contamination being discharged from that stormwater system there and from the soil that was seeping out underneath a nearby parking lot. As a second example, Maria also led the charge from the community to urge the Madison Water Utility to not only be proactive in testing in the first instance, but then communicating about PFAS contamination in well 15 and shutting that well down. right there. But again, going back to that broader testing and not just focusing maybe on certain areas, right, to ensure that no one in the city was being overexposed to those highly toxic substances without their knowledge. And finally, I want to acknowledge Maria's great work when it comes to informing and helping subsistence anglers in the Madison community. Her efforts to get fish consumption advisories and signs posted in multiple language, right? Talking about breaking down those barriers, getting those signs posted on waters throughout the Madison area to help inform those subsistence anglers. Was really crucial, right? Because those are often comprised and predominantly comprised of Black, Latinx, and Hmong communities. So Maria really understands that knowledge is power, and I've, as Tony said, got a front row seat to see her tenaciously fight for increased government transparency and accountability related really to anything that she was working on. And there's simply no telling how many lives that Dr. Maria Powell has impacted for the better, and no way to calculate the sheer effort that she has put in to make communities safer and healthier. But we can't calculate it exactly, but we can give you just a little bit of insight. We've put together a video of people whose lives she has impacted, and we'll play that now at this time.
What I've always admired about Maria Powell is her passion, her intelligence, and her guts. She was so compassionate toward people that didn't have a voice for themselves, especially when it came to exposure to environmental toxins. And she used her keen intelligence and drive to know the literature well and convey that to policymakers. And she didn't mince words. It was always her top priority that we, as a community, consider people's health first.
I want to take the time to say congratulations for receiving your Environmental Justice Award. You truly deserve it. And I want to let you know that you have taught me so much. You are a very smart, very dedicated, and very powerful woman. You have taught me that perseverance, dedication, and commitment to environmental justice really does pay off.
The one word that comes to me about Maria is she was a generous person. She was really knowledgeable and educated on subjects related to toxic industrial contamination. But she would share her knowledge with you, with everybody. She would go out of her way to spend the day to help people. And it wasn't about her, it was about helping other people.
We're all better off to have known her and worked with her, and now our charge is to continue the work that she's done, things that she's laid the groundwork for. We must fight on in her name.
Maria, if I had to choose a word to describe you, it would be brave. You are brave to speak out, to research, to be vigilant, to be vulnerable, and to relentlessly challenge the normalization of toxic chemicals in our environment and the complacency fostered by those who know better. Some people talk and some people do. It is the latter that requires one to be truly brave. My heartfelt congratulations to my friend and colleague, Dr. Maria Powell, on receiving the 2023 Bill Iwan Environmental Justice Award. Love you forever.
Thank you. What a great video. I love seeing Dolores and Laura and the rest of the gang there. That's really great. So with that, it is very much an honor to present the 2023 Bill Iwan Environmental Justice Award to Dr. Maria Powell. And again, accepting the award on behalf of Dr. Powell is Tu Yang Zhang, who has some remarks now. So I'll turn it over to you, Tu Yang.
Thanks, Rob. And thank you, the Midwest Environmental Advocates, for hosting this award and allowing Maria to receive this. I want to take a little bit of time just to talk about my relationship with Maria. I met Maria the winter after I had graduated from university, having learned about the opportunity to work on the Starkweather Creek. I was excited about this opportunity because growing up here in Madison all my life, the Starkweather Creek is just right behind where I live, and I'd spent many summer days playing around and in that creek. A very fond memory that I have of the Starkweather Creek is back in 2005, my classmates and I, with the Friends of Starkweather Creek, helped sow prairie seeds along the banks in an effort to help prevent soil erosion. And so it was great for me to have the opportunity to do this again, 10 years later. But then I started thinking to myself, what more could this creek need? It's so beautiful. And then it wasn't until I met Maria that I learned the ugly truth about not only Starkweather Creek, but the city of Madison as well. I learned that beneath all this blue and green that is Madison lurked toxic chemicals that are hidden beneath our feet, working their way into our lakes, our fish, our homes, and even our drinking water. So I started thinking to myself, how did we get here? Like, where was this all coming from? And this would not have been possible if not for Maria and Mijo. Since its founding in 2004, Maria has been the spear tip of this organization, using her skills and knowledge to create relationships, to educate and spread awareness about environmental justice, and to bring people together, most importantly, under a common cause so that we can make our communities a better place now and in the future. Mijo has always been focused on the people, helping them to understand their environment and helping them to understand how the environment affects them. Mijo has, as Rob said earlier, helped develop fish consumption advisories in several languages and helped broaden awareness about the dangers of consuming fish contaminated with chemicals such as PCBs, mercury, and most recently, PFAS. Aside from raising awareness about the dangers of consuming contaminated fish, Mijo has also focused on identifying the sources of toxic contaminants present in our local neighborhoods, such as the example from Madison KIPP. And Mijo, along with Maria, has worked to help these affected communities reduce and prevent further contamination. Even now, Mijo continues to demand that our local government and the leaders of our local government address PFAS pollution here in our home city and throughout the state. I'm sure if you go online and you search PFAS contamination, you'll see that Madison is not the only city that is affected by this. You'll see La Crosse, you'll see Marinette. Outside the state of Wisconsin, plenty of other states are also affected by this serious issue. It's not just confined to our backyards. It is all across our country, and it is a very serious issue. And Maria has been one of the focal points of this, helping to raise awareness and create a conversation point about the effects that PFAS has on our health. Maria embodies the spirit of compassion, determination, and a profound commitment to justice. She is unwavering in her dedication to environmental justice, and it is a testament to the countless hours of hard work, the sleepless nights, and the passion Maria has poured into environmental justice. She is an inspiring example to us all. She gives us hope She gives me hope and she inspires me. And that one person can indeed make a difference. And when we stand up for what is right and what we believe in, we can make a dent and change is possible. It is my hope, and I believe that is Maria's hope. And in addition to that, the hope of all those that Mijo has worked with in these past several years, that this award serves as an inspiration for others who are interested and who are just learning about environmental justice, to fight for what is theirs and to fight for a healthy environment. It is an honor to accept this award on behalf of Maria. And I want to say, Maria, congratulations. We are immensely proud of you and your achievements. You have shown that perseverance, teamwork, compassion, and education makes not only our world, but our communities a better and a safer place now and in the future. I want to take the time to thank you again for making our world a better place.
Thank you, Tu Yang, and thank you for your work with me, Joe. We really appreciate you being here and for you sharing about Maria.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Our next award is presented to Lisa Dorr, and I'm happy to turn the floor over to Adam Voskuil, staff attorney at MEA, who will introduce Lisa.
Thank you, Tony. As Tony said, it is my honor to present this award to Lisa Dorr. Over the last several years, communities in Northwest Wisconsin have been alarmed by proposals to bring a hog CAFO, or concentrated animal feeding operation, to the area. The massive amounts of manure that this facility would generate would pose a serious risk to groundwater, the lakes and rivers in the area, and the communities that live up there, their way of life. And Lisa has been a leader in the effort to protect those Northwest Wisconsin communities from the CAFO. Now, I kind of want to talk a bit about all of the strategies Lisa has employed, because it's been like this, consistent line of just a through line of amazing work. So one of the strategies that Lisa and others have employed was urging the counties to pass CAFO moratoria, or pauses on the development of those CAFOs, and in that time, then pass more protective ordinances. In 2020, Lisa's county was moving in the right direction. It had enacted a moratorium, and it was at that time considering extending it. But then Big Ag brought their intimidation tactics to bear. Wisconsin Manufacturers and Commerce and others threatened county officials with the possibility of criminal charges if they followed through and extended the moratorium and changed land use laws. And now, unfortunately, that outrageous attack worked on local officials, or at least it appeared to work. And the measure failed at the county board by 1 vote. In the aftermath of the setback, though, Lisa did not despair. She redoubled her efforts. She educated herself and others about what towns and, in general, local governments could do. And in that time and in the aftermath, she worked with residents in several nearby jurisdictions to collectively make their voices heard. Eventually serving on a multi-town intergovernmental committee focused on drafting and passing strong and protective laws that require any CAFO to adhere to high environmental standards. I want to be clear, Lisa is winning. The hog CAFO that has its sights set on her community has had its permit application rejected, and it's no closer today breaking ground than when the industry groups made their outrageous claims 3 years ago now at this point. And this story is indicative of Lisa's tenacity and her effectiveness. She knows the strength of the opponents that we're up against, but she also knows that she and her community are stronger. She's a source of inspiration for me. It is a privilege to advocate alongside her. I have the joy of being on calls with her, feels like weekly, maybe it's more like monthly, but every time I am simply in awe of the knowledge and the power that she brings to bear. So I want to thank Lisa, and I believe we have a video to kind of commemorate and show that.
A huge congratulations to Lisa Dorr for winning the Bill Iwin Environmental Justice Award. I'm here on the banks of the St. Croix River, the boundary between Minnesota and Wisconsin, with Wisconsin over my shoulder here. Lisa, your work to protect this river, part of the National Park System, and its entire watershed is just incredible. You're the gifted organizer, your passion, your work ethic, your inquisitive mind, you won't let anybody off the hook. You're always asking questions, which is just awesome. And I just don't know how you managed to get 6 townships to agree on anything, let alone a huge set of CAFO ordinances. So Lisa, thank you a million times. I think future generations will thank you for all the work that you've done.
You are amazing, and we need more people on this planet like you.
On behalf of everyone at Socially Responsible Agriculture Project, I wanted to just say congratulations on this much deserved award. And thank you for all of the important work that you're doing across Wisconsin, and for all of the work that you've done in collaboration with Socially Responsible Agriculture Project. We need you on the ground more than ever, and I hope that this award really emphasizes to you the importance of everything that you do for your community.
And Lisa's tenacity, her attention to detail, her ability to maneuver among some really tough circumstances, both socially and politically, in these small towns is just really pretty amazing. And I'm honored to know Lisa and learn from Lisa when it comes to fighting for a clean environment.
Wow. Also an amazing video. Lisa, I am pleased to present the 2023 Bill Iwin Environmental Justice Award to Lisa Dorr. And I believe, Lisa, you have some thoughts. Please go ahead.
Yes, thank you so much. That video made my heart rate go up. I really appreciate it, you guys. Thanks so much. You know, I'm really proud to win this award, and especially honored to be here tonight with people like Maria and Deanna and all the people across Wisconsin that have dedicated their lives to work in their communities. So I especially appreciate MEA, because you guys like come out of Madison and work at the local level, and it really makes a huge difference. The crux of my work has been to help organize people in Polk and Burnett County, and that job really focuses on protecting public health and our property values from these huge livestock factories that want to move in. I don't call them CAFOs, I call them livestock factories. We've managed to pass the state-of-the-art livestock ordinance, and we're hoping that it serves as a model for the other 1,249 towns in our state, because it's really designed to help people at the town level. But I really have to say that it's really the bravery and the kindness and the tenacity of hundreds of people that really has made my work possible. So with so many people involved in the last 4.5 years, you're going to see a lot of reasons for their passion. That's what I found. We have such a wide spectrum of people, but the number one passion that they care about is their water. And our, you know, our towns are right in the St. Croix watershed. And all of everybody's water comes from wells. And so when they came in and told us that they were really interested in building hog factories here because it was so clean, we had a very visceral reaction. We really think that spreading millions of gallons of raw feces and urine across thousands of acres is a big threat for us. We're also really driven by our love of the land And you know, these factories, they're like huge sugar or cotton plantations. They require thousands of acres of agricultural land to stay afloat. You know, they basically want all the land. And our counties have intact food systems in place. You know, unlike other rural areas, we have middle-class producers. We have family-owned processors, and bringing in these big factories is only going to have a negative impact on our economy as it is. So the land and the water are kind of what motivate people, but you know, they've done such great work. People have done this amazing research. They've developed messages about what a positive future could be. We have the St. Croix Food Alliance that's coming forward to help market our area and build our markets. In the last 4.5 years, we've had hundreds of people who rallied. They've testified at endless hearings, and they even stand outside the window when the town halls get too full just to hear what's going on. You know, that's the kind of support we've got. We've also got some really great citizen and political leaders, and they have stepped up to meet this effort. And many of them have been badgered, harassed, and we even saw the sheriff handcuff and arrest one of our folks on this ridiculous charge. It took months to get it dropped. So we've had dozens of local politicians who've put their careers on the line for this issue, and we really appreciate that. There are 2 local agencies, or they're not agencies, nonprofits that I just wanted to mention tonight. Wild Rivers Conservancy has given us a lot of policy expertise, and as well as this technical support, because they have these young staff that understand the GIS and all the data that we need to really be effective. And the other group that I just love and I've been honored to work with is called No CAFOs. And they have done an incredible job protecting Northwest Wisconsin. They started in 2019 when this hog factory proposal first came up. And they educate politicians, and they've taken very effective legal action. They've passed a cutting-edge livestock ordinance at the town level and the county level. And they've made sure that the Wisconsin DNR doesn't accept that woefully incompetent permit application that Cumberland keeps trying to get through. And then the thing that was really fun about No CAFOs is that they use all kinds of innovation communication. They do hundreds and hundreds of yard signs, public meetings, social media, and then they have these billboards, the kind of high profile billboards that they have along our state highways. And this one has been really fun. They've bought 3 or 4 different versions of it right under the Mountain Dew sign. So I'm really blessed to receive this award today. The love that our people have for the land and water is really what fuels my work. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this award into a couple hundred pieces and send one to each of these people. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lisa, and thank you for your words and your advocacy. Thank you for taking your love of the land and translating it into such an effective movement in your part of the state. So now I have the honor of introducing the last awardee, and to tell you a little bit about Deanna Branch. Hers is a story that begins in a humble church basement and has taken her all the way to the White House and to the State of the Union address before a joint session of Congress. But even more importantly, over that time, Deanna has been a force for organizing the parents of lead-affected kids, and she has helped win historic changes that will keep generations of kids healthier. Deanna's 2 sons, Aiden and Jaden, have both been affected by lead poisoning, and Aiden, her younger son, was severely impacted. He had to be hospitalized twice. When Deanna opened up and shared her family's story at her church, Hepatha Lutheran Church in Milwaukee, she discovered that other families had similar experiences. And from this beginning, Deanna and her church started the Coalition on Lead Emergency, which has been a galvanizing force bringing together parents of lead-affected kids with community leaders, with environmental advocates like us at MEA, and others to press for policy change and to educate other families in Milwaukee. By sharing her story and telling others how to do the same, Deanna has successfully advocated for historic record levels of funding increases to remove lead from homes of other Milwaukeeans. And as a result of her advocacy, Deanna and her children were the guests of Vice President Kamala Harris at the 2023 State of the Union address. Currently, Deanna chairs the Coal Organizing Committee. Through that committee, she is leading efforts to plan and implement Coal's continued policy and organizing agenda, and doing so incredibly effectively. And if that were not enough, Deanna, together with Aiden, have authored a children's book called Aiden, the Lead-Free Superhero. This book is incredibly inspiring and powerful. It allows young readers to learn about the dangers of lead exposure, but instilling in them a sense of resilience and empowerment. It has been one of my great honors in this work to get to work in coalition with Deanna. She is an absolute inspiration and source of hope for me and for many of our fellow advocates. So, Deanna, before we present you the award, as you probably gathered, we have a video for you as well.
Congratulations, Deanna, on winning the Bill Iwin Environmental Justice Award. You inspire me and so many others in the Coalition on Lead Emergency with your strength and courage in speaking out and spreading awareness about lead poisoning locally and nationally.
Thank you to Minister Regan, Vice President Harris, and the Biden administration for taking the first step with the bipartisan infrastructure plan to help cities and states remove all of their lead laterals. Now it is up to communities to hold our elected officials accountable.
The advocacy work you do is key in helping to put an end to lead poisoning in Milwaukee and beyond. Thank you, congratulations, much love and peace to you.
Deanna, it is my joy to present the 2023 Bill Iwin Environmental Justice Award to you. You have the floor.
Thank you all so much. It's an honor to receive this award along with Lisa and Maria. Thank you so much for nominating me for the Bill Iwin Environmental Justice Award. And thank you for recognizing all of the great work that COAL is doing in the city of Milwaukee. The Coalition on Lady Mercy started out as a group of concerned parents at Hepatha Lutheran Church into the wonderful coalition that it is today. My son, Aiden, gave me the strength and courage to speak out and use my voice to turn my anger at the injustice in the community into advocacy that is the Coalition on Lady Mercy today. I'm using my voice to uplift the community because I believe in environmental justice and I believe that every child deserves to have clean drinking water. I am proud of Hepatha and COAL. Because of these organizations, I was able to publish my very first book, Aiden, the Lead-Free Superhero, to help spread lead awareness throughout the world. It was because of COAL and Hepatha that I had the honor of bringing my sons along with me to present the first published copy of the book to Vice President Kamala Harris this year at the White House Lead Pipe Summit. I was invited to the State of the Union address where the Vice President's office delivered a copy of my book to the Library of Congress for me. But most importantly, I was able to make my voice heard and create a positive change in the community. My goal is to continue to use my voice and speak up for all the children and the concerned parents impacted by lead exposure and helping them to use their voice to advocate for a positive change in the community. That is my goal, to continue to reach more parents and children affected by lead so that no one has to go through what Ada and I went through alone. There is strength in numbers. And as a team, we will keep fighting until the day that lead is eradicated, not just in the city of Milwaukee, but worldwide. So thank you.
Thank you, Deanna. And I can confidently say that you are definitely accomplishing your goals. Thank you for all that you do. Thank Aiden for us, for inspiring you, and just so grateful. Congratulations again. And I'd encourage folks that they can get Aiden the Lead-Free Superhero wherever you buy books. It's on Amazon. I ordered mine from my local bookstore and encourage you to do the same for sure. So, as you just heard Deanna talk about, it's about a team. Certainly, we've celebrated the accomplishments of 3 very powerful individuals, and we know that their impact is going to move forward in countless ways. All 3 of these individuals, though, have not only been effective as individuals, they have been effective by inspiring, encouraging, and organizing many, many others. So as part of their award, MEA is making a donation in each of their honors to organizations that are close to them and their work. Maria has chosen the Madison Environmental Justice Organization. Lisa has chosen Wild Rivers Conservancy, which she spoke about, and Deanna has directed that the gift be made to the Coalition on Lead Emergency, and we're happy to be able to do that in honor of these 3 amazing women. As we wrap up our time together, I want to again express my thanks and admiration for this year's award winners. And I've said this before, I think I said it last year, I'll probably keep saying it. This evening is truly one of my favorite nights of the entire year. Just getting to stand here and be reminded of the way that these 3 women have dedicated themselves to their communities, and then to see their communities through the videos and through the comments that you've all been making, share your appreciation and congratulations back to them. I'm reminded of how lucky we are to have each other in the common work that we do. We have each other as we move forward to celebrate our accomplishments together. We have each other to sustain us when there are setbacks and through difficult patches. Tonight, we've really taken an appropriate opportunity to pause for a moment and just rest in that gratitude that we have for these 3 award winners, and also the gratitude that we have for one another as we advocate for a just and a healthy future together. And we can use tonight to remind ourselves of the courage which we heard spoken about, the vision, the dedication, and the generosity that is always present in our fellow advocates, those around us, and among the communities that we serve. So to all of you joining us tonight, and again, thank you for your comments. I know, looking at your names, that many of you, surely all of you in some ways, are reasons for hope and gratitude tonight. Thank you for being a part of the evening, and thank you for, in many ways, supporting the incredible work that we've celebrated here tonight. So with that, I'll close. This has been the 5th annual Bill Iwin Environmental Justice Awards. I want to thank everyone for joining us tonight and wish you all a great evening.